Jimmy Patsos joins us here to wrap things up. Good morning, Coach.
Hi, Roger.
Thanks for a few minutes, Coach. We appreciate it. And I guess we should say congrats.
Do we get to come in next week? Because Shark's going to kill me if we can't come in next week.
You come in next week. Come in anytime you want.
Yeah.
Anytime you want. Doors are always open.
Come in next week. We'll do a little, Zach, me, you, bracket, whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess we'll have a couple games.
I like that.
Anyways,
I like
I'm
that.
on the road recruiting, so I apologize.
Yeah, no, I knew typically that's what coaches do. As soon as the season is over, they're gone on the road, already looking to the future. Wrap up the season for us, Coach. Have you had a chance to let everything sink in and what happened over the weekend and the Monday?
Well, it's funny. I hear you guys talk about defense and rebounding. We rebounded really well this weekend. First night defense, second night offense, and last night we couldn't get a stop in overtime. I watched the end. I didn't watch the whole tape. I watched some of the overtime. I watched some of the end and the overtime. And we needed to get a couple stops. They made a tough runner. They made a good shot, but we a couple of miscues defensively. We gambled. I thought we could have blocked a shot, and then Washington made a really tough up and under move. I mean, the guy made a tough move, and Nico had a great look at it. Looking back, he had 3 or 4 seconds. It's hard, the clock in your head. He possibly could have shot faked and then got off a really clean look. But, a lot of pressure, a lot of emotion, and, he had made them, and he got us there, and it was a great – nobody wanted to make the shot more than Nico. And all the seniors came up and said, hey, you had to take it, for the win. If they had not flew it, Nico had them for 2 to tie it. But it was a great effort. I'll tell you what, I want to thank the fans. What a great community support, having 7,000 there that night, 6 the night before, 5 on Saturday night at 9 o'clock. Roger, you know how hard it is at 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
4,800 in there.
Yep.
And then 7 and 8,000. That's credit to Enzer and John Digenio's on the. He's not just our AD. He's the head of the MAC basketball. Like there's a whole commission for the whole league. So him and Rich Enzer do a lot of work to get people there and to get all this logistics done. And I thought it was a great showing. It was a good showing for the MAC. I got a lot of texts about Phyllis and all those guys doing the game. We were on ESPNU Saturday. Happy for the kids. Look, other than winning, when we talk about it, Roger, you and I know this. It's not always wins and losses. It is how you play, how you competed. And 2017, 2016 was a little rough for us. But 2017, we battled. Even though we lost the 2 games in Buffalo, we made a decision in Buffalo to start doing a lot of the little things right. And it showed up, in March where we won 2 games and we're right there at the end and couldn't be more proud of the guys.
Time with Jimmy Patsos as we wrap up the Siena season here. And I would think you'd have to characterize this as a really good season for you, right, Coach? Would you say good season? I mean, you say great if you beat Iona, but still body of work and where you were at the beginning and where you finished, it'd have to go in the books as a good season.
Yeah, Roger, I've said this before, the single A, so I give A, B, C, D. I don't give plus, minus, whatever. You get the program back up to where it's supposed to be, at the TV a lot. We try way down the game up, Rob, here, and I was on the road with our fans in tow. But great is winning it all. I'm with you. But it's good. So it's a B, and that's kids are graduating. Look, there's stuff going on all over the country. Knock on wood, I don't want to talk about. We got kids, all guys are going to graduate. Like 2 managers and 5 basketball players are going to graduate this year. That's 7 people. The future, Nico looks, I was really happy for Nico to, A, come back, and B, his knee looks pretty good. He looks, and just give him a little time off. Sammy Friday's got to play. Kevin Denman's sitting out. Our point guard, Roman Penn, who we got in January, he's just playing now with the team. He didn't play in games. Very solid. I told you he's like Mo Cheek. So when I got here, things weren't so great. And now things are good. I know people want a little more. So do we. I'm hungry for it. So is everyone else. On the other hand, I've got corners. We're going to take Siena-type kids we're going to educate the whole person. And Siena's a, mind, body, and soul type place. It's an ideology that's strong. I talked to Tom Herter after the game, looking for his kid to have Tom to get a little stronger and learn. But Brett, Thank God he stayed, and thank God I inherited him. Ryan Oliver getting his master's in Belfast and going to play overseas and texting me right away. Ryan and I texted all day yesterday. Thanks, Coach, this. To, of course, Levon and Marquise coming on a whim, and then Javion just being a guy that came, and then he left. He wasn't sure, and then he had enough guts to say, hey, I made a mistake, and I really miss it. I had enough guts to say, I accept, hey, it's no big deal. That's a part of growing a program over 4 years, but I think we've made some really good decisions at critical times. It hasn't been perfect. I know that, Roger, but you and I know, and Zach's going to find out at his next venture, nothing's always perfect. It's not always, greener pastures, or you just don't have all the answers. We battled, we did it the right way, and we committed to, like, these 4 guys 4 years ago, and they came through. The schedule early was like, that's a little on me, and we had some close losses. Kids today just don't handle losses like we used. We used to say, we lost by 2, we'll get the next one. These guys are devastated when they lose because that's not they're just competitive people. And we turned it around. So I would say very good year. Very proud of the kids. Winning in Iona was huge. I really was pumped about winning in Glens Falls. It's just we just didn't have a lot of luck this year, Roger. We go to Glens Falls and it snows the first time all year, exactly at our game time. We just a couple free throws didn't go in. We hit the Buffalo trip in January when both teams are playing well to start the year. That's a weird trip, but we came through over it. And then the end of the year, point game where a guy hit a step back. So. Really proud of the kids. Really like where the program's headed. But it's about them graduating and being good guys. The season tickets are up. Our fan base is great. Once again, I appreciate it. The weekend, Roger, basketball. I mean, down there, Roger. So I get into the whole how was the energy? Were the restaurants crowded? Look to see the fans. That's an economic impact. Gavin Donahue getting the convention center open in time and the court being in there and the mac and cheese. See, I look at all that stuff. Maybe what I got to do is look more just at basketball. But I look at all that stuff, and I thought it was a great weekend and a great finish.
Coach, I'm sure some of these postseason tournaments would love to have Siena in it. Is there any desire from your perspective as a head coach to continue to coach this group?
I'm going to talk to John D'Argenio today. We talk all the time, and we're around him all the time. I don't think so. I think that was it. I think with this group, if I had a younger team, me and him would discuss that. We've been twice to the CBI, and that's great. I just think this year the goal was the NCAA or the NIT. And it stinks is we had an opportunity with the NIT. We didn't really have any bad losses on the road. But we needed a good road win, Zach, if you know what I mean. Like, we had to beat St. Bonnie's, who's, a A10 power. They're right there. We had to beat GW. We had to beat Florida Gulf Coast or Asheville won their league. We did beat Buck. That's what's, as a coach, I'll take the responsibility. It's my fault. We came up a little short against Bonnie's, GW, chance to win it at Florida Gulf Coast. And then, maybe we got them here. Didn't have that number of wins to get us to. I got out to guys at 120, Zach, 130. And you got to be around 90 to get in the NIT. And that's a couple of road wins, and we didn't get them. And that's where I think our goal is the NIT. Of course, it's the NCAA, but then the NIT. So I don't. If John says he wants to go or something, he's the boss, and we, collaborate on a lot of stuff.
You go to Vegas.
And on that note, I think he just lost his cell phone service with Coach Patsos.
They got that new Vegas tournament.
New Vegas tournament.
16 or whatever it is.
No, I think with his group, and thank you, Jimmy Patsos. Appreciate it. We'll get him in studio next week. He graded his team out a B, which I think is about right. I mean, an A would have been beating Iona, getting the NCAAs. A B is, getting to the MAC final, kind of rallying the troops here, Zach, is when they came back from Buffalo, it wasn't all that great. And a lot of people going, wow, this is going to be a really long year with this team. They are who they are. Their record is what it is, and all of that. And then they did start to turn things around. And Jimmy is back with us here as we wrap up the Jimmy Patsos segment here on Big Board Sports. And Coach, next year, all these crazy high expectations going into this season because of the 4 seniors and all of that. And you probably won't have to deal with those crazy high expectations, at least from the outside, going into next season.
No, but we're going to play Memphis and Louisville and Florida Gulf Coast coming here. We open at Charleston, who I just watched in the final of their tournament. So we're still going to have a tough schedule. But, yes, will people be a little more patient? You know, as a coach, you want a chance to win every game. And I'm looking forward to coaching next year's team. I mean, it's going to be, you know, a different set of eyes and ears. And, you know, you start to go over some of the basics again. You know, how many times can I tell 4 seniors different variations of my stories or offense and all that? And I think what's going on at Albany, you know, it took him last, you know, the transition from the Big 3 to this year, yet they're right where they want to be. You know, best of luck to them up there in Vermont. They got Vermont right where they want them. They've won 18 in a row. We've all seen this movie before. And I think, you know, that's one of the things that coaching college you like. You get guys for a certain amount of time. You get new guys. That was what I was talking about postseason. If it was a young team, I'd say, hey, we should probably take a chance at this other thing. But we're happy with the situation and the way it ended. It was kind of a great weekend of Albany basketball, you know, for the town of the city of Albany and the capital region with all their history. I've had a lot of people come up and say that was a great weekend of basketball, and that means a lot to me. So I want to say thanks to the fans.
Well, you certainly had a tremendous fan support this weekend. There's no question about that, Coach. And I guess no time off for you, huh, man? Right away on the road recruiting.
Yeah, the prep school tournaments are all coming to a close. You know, hey, look, you need some players. You know, I had a famous coach call me and say, don't forget, it's talent plus execution plus effort. Let's not forget that talent part, okay? So you got to go get some guys. But I'm looking forward to seeing you next week, Roger, where we can play around, have fun, and talk about some other stuff like the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, who was the big celeb that was in the house on Monday night?
Oh, Cal Ripken came up. Yeah, Cal Ripken's my buddy. He's had a decent career.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Say that.
Yeah, I saw the.
He loves hoops. We got this foundation we do this work for, and I go down every October. Jay Bellis, Jay Wright, myself, Gary Williams, John Thompson this year, and it's fun. And Mark Turgeon, of course, from Maryland. But Cal loves playing. He's like me. He's like a power forward. He had a gym in his house. Like, I go way back with Cal, and it's because of Mark Butler and Ollie's. But they love hoops. And they flew up, you know, and they were like, what a game. And, you know, they popped in McGeary's for a burger and a soda before they went home. And they just like the atmosphere. And he's a hoopster. He's like, he follows like 4 or 5 teams, and we're one of them. But I was a little shocked when I heard he was coming. So, and you know what? He had a great time.
That's great. That's awesome. I saw him. I'm like, wow, Jimmy's got all the celebs coming out for the championship game tonight. So, listen, congrats on the season, Coach. We appreciate it. Look forward.
We were short one celebrity on Monday night, Roger.
Who's that? Oh, me.
Next Wednesday.
We listened to your whole game on the way back on the satellite radio coming back from Stony Brook that